Hello everybody and welcome back. What I have in front of me here are some of the charts and tables from Basic Manual, which I put together on one small page, and this is the monster reaction chart, which I've started to use more often. And I have to say, this one small chart here has completely transformed the game. It's turned it from a game of dice rolling combat into more of a living world. That might sound a bit hyperbolic. Give an example. Our party met a couple of robber flies, which were wandering monsters, and after a few reaction rolls, it was a bit of a standoff. They just left, buzzed away, and we were by the riverbank in the marshes. And for the first time playing this game, in my mind's eye, I saw it as a world of fantastical creatures that you don't just come across to attack, but they live there and they go about their own business. And that in itself was so evocative that it really did bring this world to life. And it will of course add so much more life to the variety of ways to encounter enemies. I have played quite a few sessions without using it. I have to say that the early games that I've played were very much to help the DM, and the guiding hand of the author was always there. The rooms were well described, the monsters were well described, including their behaviour, and quite a lot of that behaviour was they will attack on sight. That is not happening in the Keep on the Borderlands. The guiding hand of the author is not there. Apart from the initial setup where the world is described, the actual descriptions are very few, and that has made a huge difference. I'm beginning to see why the Keep on the Borderlands is a classic. Of course, all of these things need to be interpreted, what these results are. There are essentially three: attack, leave and friendly. Attack is the most obvious one, as is leave. What do you do with friendly? Especially if the monster is described as evil and vicious, why would it be friendly? Or else you're dealing with an animal. I can see why some animals, like wolves or even bears, would be friendly towards humans. That actually does happen. Maybe they're hungry, maybe they're injured, need help. But say for example the encounter with the giant black widow spiders, that ended up them being friendly. Friendly is not the right word. I think respectful might be better. So there are many animals that are wary of humans, and therefore, just as we would treat a dangerous animal with respect, it too would treat us with respect. And so friendly in that case would mean that the animal just is it's met humans before and probably come off badly. But what about an intelligent creature? Say for example that random troglodyte, which is both intelligent enough to know what it's doing and yet is described as very evil. There may be circumstances when that animal could be friendly. Why would you befriend it? Again, this word friendly requires a lot more thought and roleplay, especially compared to that word attack, which does what it says on the label. But this monster reaction chart is probably one of the most important charts in the game, and it really does elevate it from a dice rolling board game into something much better. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the fairness of the game. Our party is here and we're in these goblin caverns and we've made it this far. At the beginning of this whole series, in my introduction, I described the BECMI system as brutal and maybe even deadly. I hadn't enough experience to make that judgment myself. I got it from the manual and from a lot of other opinions online, but I have not found that to be the case. Quite the opposite. I have found this game to be very fair and balanced, and I've been wondering why is that, and I've been wondering why has it got such a reputation of being otherwise. I think compared to other systems, such as today's 5th edition, it would, as a comparison, be seen as deadly and unforgiving. But I don't have those comparisons to make. A better word than brutal, I think, would be strict. I think you can tell the system is fair if it offers you both the carrot and the stick. This system definitely does. The very first Red Book says that there is much more XP to be got from treasure than killing monsters, and therefore it is good play to try and think of other ways to get at the treasure without putting yourself in danger. And I have played a very cautious game. I have left dungeons when my party are at low health. I have even walked away from a dungeon. I have yet to try and parlay or bribe enemies, but I think that's where the reaction table will come in and make the game even better and even more fair. Now, where does this fairness come from? I believe, and you can correct me if I've got this wrong, that the pedigree for Dungeons and Dragons was medieval warfare roleplay simulation. And that strikes me as being a hobby filled with some extremely dedicated and intelligent people who probably were very much into charts and tables and formula to get everything correct. In other words, prior to the computer, they probably tried to, what we would say is mathematically model medieval warfare. And a lot of that seems to have come over into this game, at least in this edition. Despite the fact it's got magic spells, goblins and halflings, and it comes in a nice red box with a dragon on the front. The actual mathematics underpinning this game, I think, is really quite sophisticated, and it means you can play the odds in your favour, or you can tweak them to be in your favour, and that can make a big difference, surprisingly big difference, and that is, I think, a sign of its fairness. Unlike a casino, where the odds are always against you, you hear that people count cards in blackjack. That's ended in the 1970s. The casino has so many systems in place these days that card counting doesn't work anymore. But you could kind of cheat the unfairness of the casino to swing the odds in your favour. In a game which is fair like this, you don't have to cheat to swing the odds in your favour. You just have to, well, in my way, I play cautiously. Other people who have much more experience with this game and who have maybe played for several years would probably play better rather than cautious in order to skew the odds towards them. But it doesn't really take much to do that. Lecture over, let's get on. Our party are here. We entered this natural looking cave, and very quickly it became small, low tunnels. These tunnels are not natural, nor are they of dwarven craftsmanship. These are rough and crude, and you can see the pickaxe marks everywhere. Who made them, we don't know, but we may find out, because if we roll a 1 or a 3, 1, 2, 3, we may meet the inhabitants. And we don't. So we move on to here, and this opens up into a cavern. And indeed there are creatures here. Have we been sneaky enough to get the drop on them? Perhaps they're looking the other way. Or are they looking this way? And we get surprise on them. What we are seeing is 6 goblins. Are we going to try and negotiate with them? No, these are the caves of chaos. They're not the caves of friends not yet met. No. Right. Let's do archery. These guys have AC 6 and not much hit points each. And Liz misses. And Sylvie misses. Let's do melee. Donard. Whoops. Throws an 11. Well, that hits AC 8. That's not good enough. And Ben. Yes, he hits AC 2 and he takes out 1 goblin. Right, and then we have our big retainer, Chris. And he misses. Right, that was a surprise round over. Let's roll for initiative. And they get initiative. Now they are armed with spears. And you can throw spears, or else you can use them as melee. There's 5 left. We'll do 2 melee and 3 throwing. Right, that means 2 are on Ben. And that hits. And that's 5 points off Ben. The second archer thrower throws on Donard. Whoops. And misses. And then on Chris. And takes 3 points off him. Then we have the 2 melee ones. 1 on Ben. Misses. 1 on Donard. misses. Then it's our go. Liz hits, takes out a goblin. Sylvia, +1 for short range, misses. Donard hits, takes out another goblin. Ben, and that's 12, misses. And Big Chris, with his 18 strength, easily hits and takes out another goblin. There's 2 left. Round 3. And it's mutual. Right, let's see what they do. Their morale is 7. So if I throw an 8 or more, these 2 bolt. And they fight on. So let's do their go. Right. This will be the 2 archers. Boy. And one hits Ben again. And one hits Donard. Right. Our go. Liz misses. Sylvia misses. Donard misses. Ben hits. He clearly didn't like being hit himself. And Big Chris hits. Right, we clean out those goblins. And Ben is in a bad way. Right, he has 6 hit points. Let's cast both of the healing spells. No, we'll cast one and see what that does. So our first Cure Light Wounds does 2 points. And the second one does 4 points. He's up to 12. Not the best, but better than nothing. We still have our Staff of Curing. We're going to pick through these goblins. There's not much there to be seen. They have some copper pieces. I'll calculate that at the end. On our journey here, we were attacked on the road by 7 orcs. I calculated their treasure, and it was 94 copper pieces. We don't tend to pick up copper pieces. Big Chris did. Let's check out what's down here. We'll rest for a bit and move down to here. Did anybody hear us fight? Yes, we come across a patrol of 6 wandering goblins. Do we surprise them? Are we surprised by them? Nope, no surprise. Who gets the initiative? We get the initiative. Yeah, let's go for it. Right. Sylvia hits, takes out one of them. Liz misses. Donard hits, takes out another. Ben misses. Big Chris misses. Not too good, there's 4 of them. Right, 2 on Ben. Yep, and they hit. The second one misses. 1 on Donard misses. And 1 on Big Chris misses. Right, round 2. And they get initiative. Same thing. 1 on Ben misses. The other one misses. 1 on Donard hits. And the 1 on Chris misses. Our turn. Miss from Sylvia. Hit from Liz. Miss from Donard. Ben. That's a miss. And Big Chris. That's a hit. 14 altogether. Yep, he hit AC 5, they have AC 6, cleans that out. There's 2 left. Let's roll for initiative. On round 3, we get it. Let's see what our archers can do. Well, Sylvia can miss. Liz can hit and take 1 out. And then Donard. 12 is AC 7, it's a miss. Ben cleans out the last goblin. Right, okay, well, yet again, another round of damage on our part. But we round this corner and we see a door at the end, and nothing will move this door. So that indicates to us there's something important behind it. And maybe we will clean out the rest of where we can see before we decide to go into places like this. So we're going to retrace our steps to here, and if we look south we see nothing, and then we decide the only way to go next is west. You might have noticed on the way back here I didn't roll for the Wandering Monsters. I have done a Wandering Monster Fest before in the Eye of Traldar, in the caves underneath. Was good fun, but a bit of a grind. And the odds of finding a troop of goblins here is 50% every 3 squares. So, well, that's going to be a bit more of a grind. Somebody in the comments did mention that the way they play it is that if an area has been cleared out, they don't check for wandering monsters. I can understand that, and I can see how it helps to move the game along. I think I'll do that as well. So our next move is to move from here to here. And sure enough, this is a wandering monster check. And we don't find any, and we have a crossroads. We can go north, we can go south. If we shut our lantern and look north, we can see this is an open area, and south is a corridor. Open areas always seem to spell trouble, and it's best, I think, to clear them out so you don't have anything attacking you from behind when you go down here. So we're going to shutter the lantern, look in. What do we see, or what sees us? Well, it's another guard room of 6 goblins. Let's see who has surprise. Neither of us are surprised. Let's see who has initiative. And we get initiative. Right. I think it's about time Malin cast one of his sleep spells. So it's spells first. 6 goblins. 2d8. They're 1 hit dice each. And yes, they all go to sleep, and we have no problem disposing of them. They did not get a chance to react. Just so you know, should that have gone differently, there is a little script for the goblins to perform an action which involves this area here. That didn't happen. We'll search them for their small loot that they have, and actually they don't have small loot. They have a sack of 250 gold pieces, as well as any little bits of spare change on them. Because we search the room and we find a barrel, and behind the barrel is this sack of gold. So we're here. Now we can either try here or here. And I think it's more tempting to try here, as that is at our back. So we'll go down here. And do we come across any patrols? We don't. So now we've really got nowhere to go but here. We're in this chamber. 1, 2, 3. And yes, we come across a patrol of 6 goblins. It's always 6, it's not 1d6. Right. Roll for surprise. We surprise them. I'm always tempted to go for it when you get surprised, because if you have the drop on them, you can at least have their numbers. Fingers crossed. Right. I did go on a lot about the getting the odds in your favour. Are we going to bribe them Well, what if their reaction turned out to be low? So we're gonna attack. Yeah. That's Sylvia, who doesn't take out 1 because they have 3 HP. Liz finishes that one, so there's 5 left. Donard, 11, that's AC 8, misses. Ben, misses. Oh dear. And Big Chris hits and cleans out another goblin. So there's 3 of them left. Their turn. What is their morale? They decide to fight. Okay. 1 on Ben. Hits. When do they not? 1 on Donard. Misses. And 1 on Chris. Hits. Round 2. And we get initiative. I may have screwed up the initiative there. Never mind. We've got 2 missiles. Sylvia again doesn't clean one out. Liz misses. Donald misses. Ben hits, takes one out. Big, whoops. Well, that was a miss. Big Chris misses regardless of what his dice is. There's 1.5 left. The 1 on Ben misses. The 1 on Donard misses. Okay, next round. And it's mutual. We'll do them first. 1 on Ben misses. The 1 on Donard misses. Sylvia misses. Liz misses. Donard hits. There's half a goblin left. And that's 12. That's a miss. Oh, come on, Chris. We need you the most. And he doesn't do it. This is the next round. We get initiative. We must be able to kill this goblin. It has 1 HP left. Sylvia misses. Liz hits with her 1 HP and takes it out. Right, we need to use the Staff of Healing. And we need to use it on Ben and Chris. Right, Ben is up to 11. Big Chris is up to 13. And we're here. And we have to go on ahead down this long corridor. And when we get to this junction, it's yet again another chance to run into a goblin patrol. And we don't. So I think we can easily see that this corridor is a dead end. We don't go up there. We have to go north. And what is in this room here? This is a common room. There are 10 males and 14 females and 6 young who do not fight dwelling here. Food is prepared and eaten here, and general meetings are likewise held here. There are heaps of bedding, tables, stools, benches, etc. all around the whole place, making it very cluttered. Okay, and apparently we have to roll to see if the Goblin Patrol is here as well. And it is. Okay, let's see who gets surprise. And we surprise them. Okay, now there's 16 goblins. Well, there's actually more because the females do fight just as much as the males do. So there are 30 goblins in total. And we have surprise, and you guessed it, we're going to back out of there. And we're going to have to think of what to do to take on this fight here. When we come back, those 6 extra goblins will not be there, as they are part of a wandering patrol. but I may rule that we have to do wandering patrols again because we're leaving the dungeon. Okay, well, we're outside. I'll calculate what treasure it is and what time of day it is, and then whether we go back to the keep or whether we move somewhere close by and camp out overnight. But that area, with its standard 24 goblins plus 6 extra, no way we're not taking that on. Okay, let's see what the next day brings us, or the next session brings us, and until then, see you next time.